Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. And welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. This is episode 8 in our long adventure down the Pokemon path. My name is Wrestling Chris G. I am one of your hosts today from Sports Entertainment Breakdown. On the other line with me is my good old buddy. He is the Sandshrew to the gang. Good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
I'm frustrated.
So low key, everybody, I'll peel the curtain back just a little bit. Like 40 seconds into our last recording, I didn't like my intro, so I told Doug that I'm gonna redo my intro, which I don't think it was any better than the first, but we're gonna roll with it. But yeah, we don't normally do take twos on podcasts. We just roll with it, and if our intro was stupid, then it was stupid.
Well, look, I mean, if you know, we've done enough podcasts to know if an intro is at least passable. I mean, we've had some on our other shows that have just started off bad, and we've said, look, we're going to stop, and we're going to take a breath, and we're going to think. And, you know, the good thing about stopping on an intro is it's not like you had to stop and redo, you know, and you were like
entire episode.
Right. I mean, we've lost episodes, obviously. And
yeah,
that's just technology. That's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's the art of podcasting, everybody.
The art of podcasting. That is simultaneously douchey but correct at the same time. The art of podcasting. But yeah, so we're here to record episode 8.
Yes, the path to the Pokemon League, or as it was translated from Japan, the road to the Pokemon League. Not really that much of a difference.
Yeah, but I kind of like the game we play of which one we like better.
Yeah,
and
I like the American version.
I kind of like the Japanese version.
Oh, you like the Japanese version?
I don't know why. I can't give like an essay answer, but
well, the reason I like the English, the American version, is because it's not really the road to the Pokemon League. Like, Ash has fucking 2 badges at this point
that he was
given, and when it comes down to this being called the path to the Pokemon League, I mean, yeah, he's passing through. Actually, I don't like the title at all, because this is we're about to review an episode on an unofficial gym that has nothing to do with the Pokemon League at all. But I mean, I get why they called it this, because the trainer that's there is trying to reach 100 so he can start his journey to the Pokemon League and make sure that he has 100-0 streak going. But, well, damn,
now, you saying that brings up an interesting question. Did he have to be undefeated at 100-0, or did he just have to get to 100 wins?
I think it was just 100 wins. I mean, they didn't really go over that too much in the episode.
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll get into it, because I no spoilers here, everybody. Like, we're gonna review this damn episode, but I guess it just so happens that he gets up there, but I think it was honestly. I wouldn't even. I mean, we're gonna review it. I wouldn't even take that last win as a win because
I was about to say the same thing because that was no goddamn battle. That was a fight.
Yeah. So, but this episode aired in Japan on May 20th, 1997, and aired here in the U.S. September 17th, 1998. And what we like to do here on the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. Oh, by the way, we have a new hashtag now. It's EP.
EP. I like that.
E-peep.
E-peep.
Yes, E-peep.
E-peep.
The every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. E-peep.
I kind of like it. It's goofy, but it's good.
Yeah, I know. So
gotta go record an e-peep. I'll be right back.
Yep.
You got to do what? Oh, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's e-peep. It's the new N. But we like to give historical events that have happened on this date, and me and Doug have picked 2 from this date. And what I've picked for this is from 1982. Bad to the Bone, single by George Thorogood, was first released. Bad to the Bone. Bad.
Yeah, that's one of those songs that, like, as soon as it starts up, you're like, oh, this is going to be a good couple of minutes. And, it's catchy. It's been in about 1 million movies and TV shows in one way or another. It's a good montage song.
It's been in 1 million movies.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
I can just think of a most recent like Ghost Rider movie.
The sequel or the first one?
I think it was in both. Because I believe
neither one of them was any good, but
no. But just off the top of my head, you have Dennis the Menace. You remember that?
Yeah.
One of our good old childhood movies.
But yeah, I mean that's an extremely catchy song. Yeah, that's a good pick. I don't remember what you originally, because low key, this episode has been on the tee to record for a little bit, and you had a different one, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I had to find something else. We've been meaning to record this episode for about a week now. So on the last episode, you heard me say, well, I can't wait to review this next episode. And as soon as we finished recording, we both had things that came up and we were like, yeah, we can't record right now.
So, but yeah, we're here now. We're doing it. So yeah. So you've got a musical thing and I've got a sports thing.
Oh yeah. So what's your sports event from this date, Doug?
On September 17th, 1917.
Ooh, going way back.
Going way back. Baseball player Honus Wagner retired as a player from Major League Baseball.
Ooh, you kind of gave me a little bit of a background on this, but you want to introduce some of our fans that are not baseball fans?
Yeah, because some people are saying, what's the big deal? Baseball players retire seemingly every year at the end of the season. Well, Honus Wagner was a special player. He was a member of the 3,000 hit club, which is not easy to do. I mean, that requires longevity. He was a member of the first Hall of Fame class in 1935. And he's most notable, outside of being just a great baseball player in an era where it wasn't about, guys hitting 40 home runs a year. He has one of the rarest baseball cards in history. The T206 Honus Wagner baseball card. There was only 57 produced. or I'm sorry, 57 copies are known to exist. And I'm trying to get a most recent figure. Perfect. On May 29th, 2019, a Honus Wagner T206 sold for $1.2 million
Ooh,
for a piece of cardboard.
holy shit. So I would hope that person has that card put somewhere nice in a glass case and just put away.
It's in a glass case and probably inside like 5 safes,
Yep.
all with different combinations.
So,
But yeah, baseball cards are their own industry. I mean, there's films and articles and collectors guides and there's podcasts about card collecting. You could go down a great rabbit hole. But yeah, I mean, it's such a rare card, and that's one of the things where if you happen to find a copy, it's because you paid quite a pretty penny.
gotcha.
So.
All right, and in this part of the episode, we also like to give a who's that Pokemon for this episode, so we're not interrupting our flow going forward when we're reviewing the episode. But the who's that Pokemon from this episode was good old Sandshrew, and Sandshrew was a big part of this week's episode, which was why I gave you that nifty little nickname, Doug.
Yeah, which I'll say this. I'll say this much was probably better than the first time we did it, and I didn't understand the intro.
Yes. So there we go. But yeah, it was Sandshrew. We're gonna really dive into this week's episode, but you wanted to nickname this episode as Ash is a Prick Part 1.
Yes.
Well, not really Part 1. Well, Ash seems to always be kind of a dick going forward in these episodes, so it's a trendy little thing that we have.
Yeah, it seems like you could usually pick out like a piece or two where Ash is prickish, but this was like one of the first episodes where it's like the majority of the episode Ash is just being pure asshole.
Yep.
And I mean, it pretty much starts right from rip.
All right, so you ready to dive into this episode, Doug?
Yeah.
So this episode is called The Path to the Pokemon League. And we start this episode with Ash, Pikachu, Misty, and Brock walking to the next city so Ash can get his nice little third badge. And as they're walking, the narrator is talking about Ash, and they have both the Boulder badge and the Cascade badge. And both of these badges are just highlighted in the background as Ash is walking with the gang, and Ash is just all happy. He's on cloud 9. He's just like ready to go.
Didn't earn either one of them.
No.
And you're probably sitting there going, he said that a couple times. I'm going to keep saying it because it's going to keep coming up. Comes up next week too.
Oh yeah, it definitely does come up next week. But he was given the gym badges by the two people that are following him on his journey. I'm starting to think that Misty has a thing for Ash.
And I'll say this, and I feel like I said it last week when we actually talked about the episode where he got the second one. He kind of did earn it. I mean, he not battle wise, although you could make an argument that he was probably going to. I was going to say probably beat Misty. I mean, it was trending towards an Ash victory.
Yes, it was. He was whooping Misty's ass.
He was winning.
he was putting a whoop because remember he called back one of his Pokemon that would have easily won the battle if he put that Pokemon back out there.
Well, But I think he called it back. Well, no, did Misty call hers back because he called his back,
No, no,
or was that one losing and he panicked?
no, he defeated the first Pokemon, and she threw out a new Pokemon, and Ash called his back and threw out his
Pidgeotto.
yeah, Pidgeotto, and well, I think he had butter. Oh, okay, we're gonna sound like idiots because we just reviewed that episode, but all right, let's continue with episode 8.
Yeah. People are sitting there going, "Well, you should have thought about it last week." Shut up. So yeah, Ash is on his high horse, and Brock and Misty are trying to kind of rein him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because big old head Ash.
Yeah, so they're going to be going over to Vermilion City. Ash turns around and goes, "Well, do you know where we're going next?" And that's where they have the whole conversation as to which city are they going to go to next. What city has the Pokemon gym? And Brock talks about Vermilion City. Ash is like, "Okay, I can get my 3rd badge in Vermilion City," and he starts running away. And Misty and Brock go, "Well, there's some pretty hard trainers out there in Vermilion City."
And then we, pardon me, we get the title card, and then we're jumped right into a battle between Ash and what looked on first blush to be a 5-year-old.
and Ash, and I'm going to go by looks on here because Ash is battling this like 5 or 6-year-old who has a Rattata. I never really figured out how to say this Pokemon's name right, but I believe it's pronounced Rattata.
It's Rattata, isn't it?
Rattata. Okay, yeah.
Because Rattatat, that's like music, Rattatat. People are going, "You're fucking splitting hairs. Shut up."
So he has a Rattata, and Ash has a Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto just comes swooping down and just fucking beats the living crap out of this.
He's whooping that ass.
And this little kid is just like, "Oh my god, my," and he has his hat all cocked backwards, and Ash is just being a prick. And then after he wins this battle, he's showing off his Pokemon badges that he never earned, and just he's a dick.
And the show knows it because he has a Pinocchio moment.
I know. He's like, because he's
like, "I earned these 2 badges," and the show is like, "The fuck you did."
And then they make his nose grow like 10 times its size. And Ash, and Brock and Misty are just sitting there going, "Yeah, you really earned them." Okay.
But they really don't have a lot of room to talk because Brock straight up gave Ash the boulder. And Misty was complicit in him getting the Cascade.
Yeah, she didn't want to just give it to him, but her sisters were like, "Look,
he saved the gym,
He saved
you were going to lose.
You were about to lose. He saved the gym. We don't have any Pokemon to really battle him right now because we still haven't gone to the Pokemon Center to heal our Pokemon.
Because we've been too busy doing our diving act.
So you know what? Which I feel kind of bad for their Pokemon. Like, who has a Pokemon Center literally down the walking way from them and doesn't go to heal their Pokemon, but is more like, and why wouldn't you just drop your Pokemon off, come back to the Pokemon gym, and do your act while your Pokemon are healing at the Pokemon Center? Now your Pokemon are suffering in their damn Pokeballs, and you're sitting there just putting on freaking bathing suits and having all these men just ooh and ah at you.
Yeah, and Pikachus, apparently.
Yeah, and Pikachu, because Pikachu loved those divers.
Yeah, you sure did. People are going, "You're backtracking again."
Well, that's why you guys are here. You guys love our spiel. You've lasted this long. There's no turning back now.
Yeah, really. So yeah, the kid that he beats goes, "Well, You're impressive, and I think Ash said that's my 10th victory or something.
Yeah, that was my 10th victory. That you have 2 badges. You must be really good. And Ash is just gleaming, and his hat's now forward now, and Ash is Ash is a standard 10-year-old who, like, I'm thinking back to when I was 10 years old, when I had like Pokemon cards, and I would wreck my friends until I went to an actual Pokemon league where there was teenagers and they wrecked me, and I'm just sitting there like, well,
Get a little humbled, did you?
oh yeah, like I'll and I know I'm backtracking a little bit, but I will never forget my very first Pokemon League. So you were given, I think it was 5, yeah, it was 5 battles, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you had to win 4 out of your 5 battles to go on to the next part of the league. And this was at a comic book store. So I brought my my Pokemon deck there. It was me and my friend Zach, and we went there to go and battle at this Pokemon league, and I got wrecked and then got wrecked and then got wrecked. And I already lost 3 battles, so I should have already been out of it, but I just got wrecked and got wrecked and got wrecked, and I did not win one. It got down to where I lost 4 times in a row. I didn't even play my fifth round because I was so mad that I just told my dad, I was like, yeah, let's go. And we didn't leave because my friend Zach had actually won 3 out of his 4 so far, and all he needed was one more win, and then he got wrecked on his last one, and then we left. But yeah, that was fun.
Now, be honest with me here. You got wrecked, right? And,
yes.
You know, you're freely admitting that.
Yes.
Were you secretly hoping that your friend got wrecked so you could get out of there?
You know, I don't remember, but knowing me, I probably was like, hurry up. I'm just done. Because I was one of those collectors where I had a binder, and I had a full binder worth of all the Pokemon cards. Like legit, I would get like 1 or 2 new packs per week. So I had all the Pokemon cards from 1 to 151. Like I had them all. And I wasn't, and I'll freely admit it, I wasn't smart enough wise, like being strategic, I guess, as you were supposed to be able to play this game. So I made my deck. It was a pretty good deck, but it wasn't a strategic deck to where when you go into battle that you have different ins and outs in case scenario A happens or scenario B happens, so you can move on to scenario C. Like I had nothing. I just had some strong Pokemon. I had some energy cards and some healing cards, and I just went on into the deep end, and I just drowned.
So I'm trying to think of it, because that was a very good. So you were basically style over substance.
Yes.
You're like, well, this lineup looks boss, but you didn't. You know, this discussion would be more in place for next week's episode.
Yeah, it would. You know what? Let's save this. Let's save this, and
Yeah.
we'll remember. So we'll move on into the episode. But the little 5 or 6-year-old boy is talking about this trainer who has never lost a Pokemon battle ever, and tells Ash, "Hey, you got 2 Pokemon badges, so you know what? You might be an actual threat to this Pokemon trainer that lives right over there, right over the hill, and he has his own unofficial gym."
Which they make very clear is not a part of the Pokemon League in any way. Right on the sign.
It says unofficial.
So I'm sitting here going, right, because you know, peel back the curtain. I watched this a couple times because I was trying to stay ahead, and B, like you said, we were trying to record this last week, but stuff happened. so I'd watched this a couple times, and I'm sitting there when they approach the fucking gates of this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it clearly says unofficial, not affiliated, whatever.
Gym is not sanctioned by the Pokemon League.
And he's whatever 90,
98.
98
So
now.
it says AJ's gym undefeated, 98 wins, 0 losses.
Why do you bother?
Why do you bother what?
Why do you bother going in here? It's unofficial. This
Well,
prick's probably got some home field advantage as far as you're concerned.
yeah, but I mean, Ash being Ash, he's a 10-year-old. He's on a 10-win high. Nothing can tear him down. He has 2 badges. He's going to go in here and he's going to break this guy's streak.
And you're 100% right. That's exactly because Ash is going to Ash.
Yes.
And he goes in.
Well, he doesn't go in. They're just standing at the gate, and AJ walks up outside of the gate and goes, "Are you guys my next victims?" that was my impersonation because I just heard his voice right now. You guys my next victim. I like this guy's voice, and I'm so mad that I'm so far ahead in the Pokemon episodes that they're starting to revolve and bring back old characters that I have not seen this character since this episode yet. I'm so
mad. Really?
Yeah, I know.
He would be a perfect guy to bring back.
I know. He was such a good character. But yeah, he is one of the very few that has not come back, at least so far. And we have people that are all the way caught up on the episode. They're like, well, he's on episode blah, 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 blah.
He comes back in this season and he's got a sand slash and he's, because you would figure if he just lets things flow, that sand shrew has to evolve rather quickly.
Oh, yeah.
When he's out, trying to gain badges, spoilers for the end of the episode.
So, yeah. Because I'm all the way on. I'm on season 5, Pokemon Master Quest, that came out between 2001 all the way to 2002. So that's where I am. So that's why I haven't seen him yet. If he does come back at a later episode, but that's as far as I am right now.
I'm almost curious. I might do some Googling on my own time. Okay. But yeah, so Ash is well, I'm not a victim. I'm gonna whoop that ass. I just kicked that 5-year-old's ass. I gotta, let's fucking go. And they get in these big gates and they step up to this.
And this guy
outdoor.
This guy is what Ash would be if Ash was like 13, 14 years old. Because
yes.
Because this guy goes, beating trainers like you is what I do best. Are you ready for a whooping? And then the gates just open, and here comes battle number 99 for good old AJ.
Yeah. And
can you imagine a 13, 14-year-old Ash at this point?
I don't like 10-year-old Ash that much. I think 13-year-old Ash would be goddamn insufferable.
I know. So, but you automatically get introduced to one of his strong Butterfree, because as soon as they walk into this gate, he puts the bag down, and a Butterfree comes over, picks up the bag, and brings it over to the big tent that's inside of, his little unsanctioned Pokemon gym. And Misty goes, well, what's in the bag? And he goes, oh, those are all the wild Pokemon that I just caught. I love this guy's accent. I want him on more episodes.
This show fucks with accents because we had the Valley Girls 2 episodes ago, and now we've got a Southern guy still in the shell of an anime character. Like this show fucks some shit up.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, Ash is sitting there. He's like, "Well, badges. You've got all these wins, but you don't have any badges. I've got 2 badges. I've only got 10 wins. My shit don't stink. And then AJ's like, "Where'd you get them badges? Losersville and Failure City." I might have fucked that up. I either hit it or I've switched. And Brock and Misty get all pissed.
Show this guy who's boss. Like, and you better not make us look bad.
So Ash calls out Pidgeotto, and AJ calls out Sandshrew, who, as we talked about at the beginning of this episode, was the Who's That Pokemon in the break.
Yes.
And it's another case of early Pokemon where they're going on X Pokemon should have the advantage over Y Pokemon, but then it immediately gets flipped on its head.
Oh, 10 times. So let me see. I'm fast forwarding just a little bit of the episode so we can get into this. Okay, so Pidgeotto is flying over Sandshrew and is going in for it looks like a spear, but AJ whips his whip and Sandshrew turns into a little ball and starts rolling around and then sprouts into the air and hits Pidgeotto with one fucking attack and fucking lays Pidgeotto out cold.
Yeah, they didn't do this justice. I mean, you got to imagine that collision would have sounded like death.
Yeah, because Pidgeotto took that hit, and you just see Pidgeotto's face when Pidgeotto gets hit, and she's just like, ah!
And I mean, look, obviously we come. This sounds douchey, but we come from the world of wrestling. We've seen a good spear. We've seen a good collision. We've seen aftermath. And that's basically what this was. Pidgeotto was coming in one direction. Sandshrew was coming in the other direction. They met in the middle. Obviously, Pidgeotto was not prepared.
No, Pidgeotto was not prepared at all. Sandshrew had a hard shell and it's like a rock meeting like water. Like you throw like a big boulder into like water and it just goes boom, and the water has no chance. That's exactly what happened here.
I mean, Pidgeotto was not prepared today to get fucking. You're basically right, because Sandshrew was curled up, so it basically was like a boulder going in the opposite direction.
And at high speed too.
Yeah, he had momentum.
So Ash returns Pidgeotto because he's like, fuck. I was like, I wasn't prepared for that. And then goes, okay, go Butterfree. And here comes Butterfree getting ready to get wrecked in the second episode in a row.
Yeah, Butterfree just isn't having a good time. So Butterfree attempts
Stun Spore.
Sandshrew digs, pops up behind Butterfree, and essentially pins him.
Yeah, just grabs Butterfree and just pins it to the ground, and that was it.
Now, see, that was it, right?
Yeah.
And so Ash is lost, but what is Ash trying to get Pikachu to do? Like, he's lost this. It was 2-on-2, and he lost both rounds.
And he's like, Pikachu, just get in there. And Pikachu's not having any of it. Pikachu just watched 2 damn Pokemon get wrecked. And it's like, okay, I'm not fucking strong enough for this.
So Butterfree isn't having a good couple episodes, right?
No.
And Pikachu, the last couple episodes, just hasn't wanted to fight. So what the fuck kind of Pokemon is Ash running around with?
Ash has 3 Pokemon. And Pikachu never wants to battle anyone at all because Pikachu's like, yeah, I'm not doing this because I'm not strong enough. You need to trade me better. Like, I can't wait until we get into Vermilion City because I think isn't Vermilion City the electric badge, right? The third one?
Yes.
Okay.
Question mark.
I believe so.
That's one of my favorite ones. I mean, I'll say that, because that one actually, I don't want to get into it and spoil talking point, but yeah.
It is. I just looked it up right now. It's episode 14. So we still have 5 episodes left until we get to, 6 episodes left, but 5 after we do the next one. But
so Ash is basically throwing a tantrum here.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, Pikachu!" Pulling Pikachu by the damn tail, and
which, dickhead, check mark. Like, what are you doing?
Pikachu doesn't want to do it, and Pikachu doesn't like to be handled like that. So Pikachu goes and fucking thunder shocks the mess out of him,
which is fair.
And Misty immediately goes, "Nice work." And we flash back to Ash's big Pinocchio nose, and then it just breaks in half.
He's like, "I'm the one with the badges. It's not fair." And he's like trying to get a rematch. AJ's like, "This is ridiculous. Get out of here. What am I? You scrape the gum off my shoe.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with this. Learn to train your Pokemon better, and then we'll have a proper battle. But I mean, like, dude, you just won. So what do you mean have a proper battle? But I mean, I get what he's saying, because he can't even get a hold of his damn Pokemon. Neither one of his Pokemon landed one attack on AJ's, and Ash thinks that his Pokemon will still just go in there and just wreck house, and he only has 3 Pokemon. He has Butterfree, Pidgeotto, and Pikachu.
Right.
And that's all.
That's it.
So it's just
it's hubris is what it is. Ash is used to beating up on 5-year-olds in short pants with weak ass Rattata, and he comes up to a guy who has spent what we assume the majority of his training, his work in these. I mean, we'll see in a second. But you come up to a guy that actually has structure.
Yeah, and discipline, and it's like and I'm not being racist when I say this, but it's like no, I'm not. It's like Japanese or the Chinese with their karate or judo or anything like that. Like, they show discipline. Like, they show more discipline than we do here in America, because that's what they do. They believe in that. They work hard at that, and they're, needless to say, I mean, they do it better out there than we do out here. And you don't see as many, like, I guess you can say, obese people out in Japan and China as you do here in America. Like, they have discipline.
Well, I'm sure they're there. You just got to look for them.
Yeah, but they're not as out there as you go to Disney World out here, and like 30-40% of us, and me included, has a nice little daddy gut.
Yeah, you're embracing that dad bod. Don't you dare say you aren't.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, who do I need to look good for now?
Things Wrestling Chris G can say, because his wife doesn't listen to these shows.
But yeah, I used to have a 6-pack years ago.
I used to have a 6-pack, then I finished it.
Yep. Good. But we look over into the corner, and here's Team Rocket following Ash and the gang as usual, looking into this gym or unsanctioned gym from a tree branch.
And I say, well, there's that Pikachu, but damn, that Sandshrew looked kind of impressive, didn't it? And they're like, yeah. And
if we had that Sandshrew, the boss would really give us a raise.
And what does Meow say? Because he gets knocked out of the tree. What does he say?
Oh, he goes, yeah. Look at the way he treats his Pokemon. He treats his Pokemon better than the way you guys treat your Pokemon. And James just looks at him and goes, "You dick," and just fucking pounds,
bang,
pounds Meow all the way out of the tree.
I wish he slapped him, because then I could do the Rick James. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? But he just said bang.
But as soon as he does that, we go back to Ash and AJ, and Ash hits that little button the good old 99-0, goes up onto the board. I wonder if he beat Gary throughout this entire thing.
I'm gonna say Gary didn't waste his time.
Yeah, Gary is a little bit of a smarter trainer. Well, I'm not going to say smarter, but he has his own philosophies as to how to train his Pokemon and what to catch and different things. Because I'm sure at this point, Gary has at least 10, 12 Pokemon, because it was just a few episodes ago where Professor Oak said that Gary had like 5 or 6 Pokemon already.
Yeah,
right. He was already transferring Pokemon to Professor Oak.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, you would just think.
Yeah, I mean, if we're trying to dig into this, I imagine he might have stopped and maybe went in to the compound.
And then was like, I'm not gonna even bother because this is not a sanctioned Pokemon gym.
But I'll bet you they had a conversation.
Oh, I'm sure they did, and I'm sure Gary and AJ are probably buds, and they probably showed each other their Pokemon. Gary took a few little notes from AJ and then continued on his journey.
And I'm sure, he turned down a battle, and I'm sure he did it in a polite way.
Because Gary is only a dick when it comes to Ash. Like Gary understands and does things like his way. Like, spoiler alert, and we'll get further in, like this. It'll be about a year before we hit this episode. But when Ash is getting ready to go to the Pokemon League, you need 8 badges to get into the Pokemon League. Gary has fucking 10. Ooh. He has 10 badges, 2 of which we don't know where he got those other 2 badges.
Well, yeah, because I'm sitting here. It's the game logic. There was 8 gyms.
Yes.
Right. I mean, so they're just throwing numbers at us to make us who are playing the game at this point feel like shit.
So yeah, he but back to the episode. After AJ says, you are my 99th victim, basically, Ash comes up and goes, "It's not fair. I'm the one with the badges." And he just goes running over to AJ, just full of tears, grabbing onto his arms and basically wanting a rematch.
And AJ's having none of it, and he goes back into the tent. And
he calls Ash a kid. So this makes me think that he's about Gary's age as being like a teenager.
Yeah, that area, I would say.
Because he called him a kid, he called him a crybaby. And Ash actually accuses AJ of cheating, saying, "How do I know that this is not some little scam and that you have an advantage?" And he just starts throwing a tantrum.
Well, now, to be fair, that's where I would go. Because even though he's up front about it not being affiliated with the Pokemon League, we're walking into his place, essentially.
Yeah.
Maybe he does.
But Ash even said, he's like, let's go have a Pokemon battle somewhere else instead of over here, because you might have an advantage here. He's like, so please, can we please go somewhere else and just have another battle? And AJ's not having any of it. He just walks away from Ash and just goes, when you decide to grow up, then you can come back and ask me for another battle. And then just walks away with his Sandshrew back inside of his tent, which we find out is an actual like workout gym for his Pokemon.
Yeah, because Ash gets nosy. I mean, he was invited, but that kind of got lost in the heat of battle. And he pokes in, and you see his Pokemon going through rigorous training. I mean, there's rings of fire. Sandshrew is diving into a pool. He's got that harness on, which we'll talk about in a minute.
He has a Butterfly. He has a Beedrill who looks like they're sparring.
Sandshrew dives
into water,
which we know that or we know, or we're about to find out that Sandshrews are supposed to, and this is the word, and it's going to be the word next week, supposed to be weak against water. So Ash, freaks out because Ash is apparently a member of Pokemon PETA or something.
And
he's
goes,
like,
cut it out. Because Sandshrew gets out of the water and AJ goes, get back in that water.
Get back in that water. And, Ash, doing a lot of spears in this episode, Ash tackles AJ into the water.
Holy spears. And Misty and Brock just run over.
And AJ was dumb here. Like, I'm on AJ's side, but he was an idiot here. He's like, what do you want, a swimming match? I was like, fuck.
And Ash just goes and accuses AJ. He's like, you're hurting your Pokemon. You're hurting Sandshrew. And AJ's like, I don't need no amateurs telling me how to train my Pokemon. Why do you have your Sandshrew in a straitjacket?
He's like, it's not a straitjacket. It's a, what's he call it?
It's just a vest that he created himself.
He's like, I did. It's like
I love his accent. This is such a fun episode to go over.
And, he shows Sandshrew diving again, and, Ash and the crew are befuddled that Sandshrew's just not, crumbling. And he's like, well, it's about how you train them.
Yeah. And later on, we find out yes, Pokemon have weaknesses, but I guess if your Pokemon are at such a high level, it doesn't really matter.
Well, next week, it's all about it.
Yeah. So yeah, your Pokemon can be weak against certain things, but if you train your Pokemon right and they get up to a high level, like certain things, like just with this Sandshrew, for instance, because we don't know what level this Sandshrew is. This Sandshrew could have been his very first Pokemon.
Could have been.
And this Sandshrew could be at such a high level that now that it's hitting water and it's trained all this time, water doesn't affect it. Sandshrew's probably like, hey, I'm dirty. I'm going to go and jump into this water real quick.
But see, and this brings up the other question. If he's at that high a level, he's got to be bumping right up against the line of evolution.
Yeah.
And obviously that, Sandslash doesn't come into the equation today. But he's got to be right there.
He has to be.
And then we got a little bit of slapstick because AJ's like, Sandshrew, show him your pacing. And he curls up into the ball like in a battle. And he's being passed between 3 Rattata. And Ash goes, I thought you said pacing, not passing. And they all do the anime fall over. And then Pikachu holds up a cushion. And Ash goes, I said padding. I said pacing. And Pikachu goes, ah. It's stupid slapstick, but it got me.
But according to AJ through this whole thing, he has the only Sandshrew in the world that can get into water and not get hurt.
Which we can't confirm that.
No, we can't. But if we're going by logic and everybody's right besides Ash, he might have the only Sandshrew that can get into water and not.
I like the idea of everybody being right except Ash.
So, and then they go into a montage of before he made this gym that Sandshrew was his first Pokemon.
Yes.
So that him and Sandshrew would sit out in storms where it's coming down, pouring rain, and there would be hard winds, and Sandshrew would curl into a ball and get blown away by the wind, but try to beat the wind. And when he finally got the vest and put the vest on Sandshrew, and he would be crying as he's putting his whip in because he's so proud of his Sandshrew. Like, this guy, he knows his shit.
Yeah, but according to Ash, he's an asshole. Let's see. Then AJ's showing them around. He shows them the food pantry. Brock is intrigued because we talked a couple episodes ago about Brock's got some special formula. So AJ by all accounts, is running a pretty well-oiled ship.
Yeah, he is. And Pikachu tries to get in on the action, but falls over trying to lift some weights, and then
I popped. That was funny. I popped. Pikachu, and the sound that came out of Pikachu's
So, and Sandshrew just looks over, and Sandshrew's pounding one a piece in each hand, and Pikachu can't even lift up.
He's just gun show.
And then after that, we go back outside the tent to good old Team Rocket, who they have their nice little rubber gloves so they can grab Pikachu, but so they can also get the other Pokemon that are inside of this unsanctioned gym.
Because they've learned.
Yes.
Which fair fucks to them. Let's see.
And
trying to, because obviously we don't need to hit everything. Let's see. Pikachu's fainted. Meowth's got the rubber ball, which is how they're going to infiltrate the gym.
And then from here, we go back into the gym, and Ash is just pissed at how the Pokemon look. So,
yeah, because the Pokemon, fair being fair, the Pokemon are wiped, but they're wiped because they've been training. It's not like, AJ's a slave driver. And the bell has gone off. So the break is over and training's supposed to resume. Well, then, hippy dippy Ash gets on his high horse again and says, well, look at your Pokemon. They're completely exhausted.
And then he actually throws a punch at AJ.
Yeah.
Like full on, just like cocked his fist and tries to just clock one. Like Ash is a dick in this episode. Who the fuck do you think you are coming into my gym and telling me how to train my Pokemon? And then you're now going to cock your fist and try to punch me? Man, get the hell out of here.
So they fall into the pool again. And then we cut over and
they're trying to choke you. Well, Ash is trying to choke AJ, and AJ's just trying to get Ash off of him.
And then we cut to Sandshrew and Pikachu. Pikachu's got one of those vests on, and the vest is kicking his ass, for lack of a better phrase. And once again, we get another good Pikachu noise. We get another good, because Pikachu's sitting there. He goes, "Jihad!" He's involuntarily balled up, and Sandshrew legitimately laughs and curls up into his ball because he thinks we're playing a game.
And then pops in Team Rocket.
And
out of all episodes, I wish Team Rocket was not a part of this episode, because this episode is just funny just without them.
Yeah, they slow this episode down.
Yeah, they did. Like we could have just gotten a whole episode of Ash just being a dick, AJ fucking going in, and we could have had without Team Rocket. But I mean, I guess you wouldn't have had the plot of what's about to happen next, of them thinking they got Pikachu because they're both curled up in a ball, but kidnapping Sandshrew. And
obviously, Meowth makes the note that, we need to hurry up and do this because I'm getting nauseous. So they're, like you said, they're rushed. So they grab Sandshrew and, they dip out.
Yeah, and they just run.
The group finds Pikachu in the straitjacket. And once again, AJ's an idiot because he goes, "What's your Pikachu doing?" And Ash sees that Pikachu's got one of those vests on, and he can't get it off because he's an idiot, and he's weak, and the fucking jerk immediately throw it. Well, this is hopeless. I can't get the vest off. This is my Pikachu now. And AJ's like, well, just here. And he unclips him, and Pikachu, hey. And AJ goes, where's Sandshrew? And Pikachu, he goes, Pikachu, have you seen Sandshrew? And no. He goes, oh, shit. And he rallies the troops.
So everyone in the gym, go find Sandshrew. And then cut over to Jesse and James and Meowth again, who just ran away, and now they're out of breath. And they have Sandshrew in this nifty little, what looks like a garbage bag.
Yeah.
And Sandshrew just has no chill, just jumps out of the bag. And Meowth, for some reason, bites Sandshrew on the tail. Well, I guess he got knocked out, and his reaction was, "Oh, let's just bite." So he just bites Sandshrew's tail, and Sandshrew just goes underground and just burrows and digs, and
Well,
is
and
starting to head back to the gym.
Meowth's teeth break as well, because obviously,
Yeah,
right? Um, and yeah, Sandshrew knows the way home because Sandshrew's smart, and puts a hole in the gym floor, which that can't be cheap to fix. But obviously, nobody gives a shit
yeah.
because Sandshrew's back, and then that's when it took fucking 15 minutes. But that's when Ash sees that AJ isn't a slave driver. He's just hard on his Pokemon because he wants the best out of them. And he sees that not only is Sandshrew happy,
But all the Pokemon are happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole big fucking Poke family.
And we did gloss over the fact, and it's probably one of the main parts of the episode, but about maybe 5 minutes ago, Ash actually looked at all of AJ's Pokemon, and being the dick that he is, goes, "You know what? If you guys aren't happy here, you guys can come and be under me. I'll train all of you Pokemon." Basically being Team Rocket and trying to steal AJ's Pokemon away from him.
He's trying to cause a fucking mutiny.
And all the Pokemon just ignore Ash and just go about their damn business.
Which, of course, they would.
Because they love AJ and they respect AJ. And why wouldn't you? Because AJ has made them stronger than what they were in the wild.
So,
but yeah, now Team Rocket is back inside of the gym, looking for the Sandshrew and looking for good old Meowth. I mean, look, they actually care about their Meowth. Kinda. But you would think that they would try to make their money with Meowth, because Meowth is the only talking Pokemon in the whole world.
Yeah, he's a talking Pokemon. I mean, that screams
money.
Circus. That's money.
You can bring your Pokemon to Meowth and find out what your Pokemon wants to say or is trying to say. And that right there could just get you money. But I mean, neither here nor there.
Right. So basically, AJ's like, "You're going to come into my gym, you're going to battle." And, they're like, "That's fine." So they actually do go out to the arena, which I still don't categorize it as a battle.
Yeah. So it's now Coughing against Sandshrew and Ekans.
Well, it's 2-on-1. It's 2-on-1, yeah. And to make a long story extremely short, for lack of a better thing to say,
Sandshrew just wrecks him.
Sandshrew, puts in work, and I mean, makes Ekans and Coughing look like goddamn tissue paper.
I do love the smudge attack from Coughing, and Sandshrew just turns into a little ball and just spins and just deflects the smudge, and then Meowth turns into an actual cat and just chases Sandshrew around.
And then I misspoke, because that's when Meowth bites him after he's been coiled up into a ball, and then that's when his teeth shatter.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the sludge. He also ties Ekans into a knot. Fucking shatters the battle arena.
Yep. With a fissure attack.
Right. That's what it was. Thank you.
No problem. I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
And Team Rocket runs away because they're idiots, but they're not completely dumb.
Yeah, we don't need to stand here for this. And then from here on, I mean, this was legit, and I can understand him destroying the arena on his 100th battle. He's like, "I'm getting ready to go become a Pokemon master. I'll come back to this gym at some point, but I'm gonna go start my adventure."
Right.
So he wrecked his own gym as his 100th win.
And like we said, he counts it as his 100th, which, shades of gray, whatever.
Well, he did defeat a 2-on-1 battle.
It wasn't a battle. The Pokemon League wouldn't sanction 2-on-1.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, then again, the Pokemon League wouldn't sanction this gym. So who the fuck are, whatever.
Yeah. And come to find out on the next episode, you don't even need Pokemon badges to get into the Pokemon League. But
yeah, apparently fucking not.
all you need to be is a millionaire.
Yeah, and have a snobby kid.
So, but yeah, that was basically the episode. We flash over to outside of the gym, and AJ has his backpack on, all of his Pokemon inside of the Pokeballs inside of the backpack, and they're getting ready. He's getting ready to go off on his own Pokemon journey.
Yep, and it's basically one of those things where, hey, I'll see you down the road. I'll be ready for you next time. And he asked Ash, he said, when you become a good trainer, I want to battle you again, but you need to become stronger because I only want to battle expert trainers. And Ash says, okay, you got it. And then AJ walks off, and then Ash goes, I won't lose next time, and AJ doesn't even look fucking back.
No, he does the whole Gary just continuing to walk.
Doesn't even give him a wave. He's walking.
At least Gary does the whole like peace sign wave as he's walking away, but
right.
AJ just ignores him. But they go in opposite directions. Ash, we get a freeze frame of Ash just looking like douchey Ash running away with Pikachu, and Brock and Misty are just walking right behind him, going, "Oh, okay. Well, the adventure continues."
This fucking guy.
So, and that was it. That was the end of this week's episode. The Path to the Pokemon League, or as in Japan, it's considered the road to the Pokemon League. So great episode, and great episode for like when people talk about Pokemon, like when they review Pokemon on their TV shows, like how South Park did and all that, how these Ash is a dick and all that. I mean, this is perfect episode for why Ash is a complete dick and he thinks he's a know-it-all and just nah.
Yeah, I know it all because I study tapes in my bedroom and I prick.
Yes. So great episode. This is going into the books. I think we need to start making a list of episodes that Ash is a dick, but
it's all of them.
Yes.
Book's over.
Every single episode until he gets older. So
I understand it, right? Like he's 10. And that's, that kind of gets lost on me when I'm watching these episodes from time to time. And I have to stop and I have to remind myself.
This is a 10-year-old thinking that he's the best in the world.
But God damn it.
Like we need Brock in more of these episodes going, well, Ash, come on now.
Well, but then that borders into dick territory as well.
Yeah.
So it's a no-win game. But yeah, that was episode 8.
So next week's episode is called The School of Hard Knocks, or as they call it in Japan, Pokemon Certain Victory Manual.
Now see, I like that. And I really want to deconstruct it next week.
Okay. And we will.
Yeah.
So, all right, but we're going to go ahead and finish off this episode. So I'm going to have you do your old goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you I can't wait to have you come back next week for our 9th episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't ever miss an episode. So this is me. I'm signing out, everybody. See you next week with the School of Hard Knocks.